All right, sound guys, this one's for you and adjusting and helping the band with their in-ear monitor send. So if they're using in-ear monitors, like I said, things I talk about here is what works generally best for us here at Powhatan. It doesn't mean it's going to work for you at your location, but this might help you at least troubleshoot some problems if your band is just having a hard time hearing. For starter, the in-ears can't really push low-end bass, and depending on how you have your drum EQ'd or whatever, your kick drum might actually be sending really low-end frequencies. What I recommend, what you should try at least at the start, is doing a really low cut or really low cut high pass, as you see here in this on this tablet. And this will just help the drivers inside the in-ear monitors not be overdriven and to distort. Other than that, I would start off with it flat for everybody. People's ears, they hear things so differently. It's pretty crazy how differently people perceive the same sound. If you start off flat, then at least you know that it's not adjusted for someone else that might have adjusted it differently. You start off flat, and then you need to make sure you talk to the band and ask them if it sounds too bright or too tinny or too harsh, or if it sounds muffled, or if it sounds somehow just not right. And if it doesn't sound right and they say, hey, it sounds too muffled, then what we do here is we go and we adjust the EQ for whatever. If it sounds too muffled, we do the classic, what you might call 250 and 500. And I only do a little bit. I'll start off small, so I'll do something like that, around 250. And maybe, forgive me, I'm trying to do this and look at the camera at the same time. 250 and 500. I don't do much. And I say, all right, I adjusted it. Let's see how that sounds. And they might play through a song, and that might be it. They might be like, oh, it sounds good now. It doesn't take much. Or if they're playing and it sounds too harsh, again, you go to your harsh frequencies, which would be like 2.5K. Forgive me here for a second for trying to do this and talk at the same time. And I would adjust 2.5 and maybe even, let me grab another band, 2.5 and like 3 or 4-ish, a little bit. And that's it. I would just take 3 to 5 dB out. Doesn't take a lot. And then ask, hey, does that sound better? And they might be like, yeah, it's great. Or be like, it sounds okay, it sounds a little better, but could you do a little more? Then go back and take out a little bit more EQ. So I would start off with it completely flat. And then over the course of time, you might realize everybody says it sounds muddy, it sounds muddy, it sounds muddy. Everybody's saying that. And you might realize every time you go to 250 or whatever, or 500, and you EQ out a certain amount, everyone says that sounds better. Over time, you might just start off, after a period of time of doing this, you might just start off with a preset for your in-ears where you just take out 250 and like 500. Here at Powhatan, our average in-ear monitor mix always starts off looking like, not like that. Actually, this is our in-ear monitor mix always starts off looking like that. Everyone's in-ear monitor mix looks like that. And that's after we had spent a lot of time working and finding out what the signature of the in-ear monitors we're using kind of sound like naturally. And this is a pretty good start. And most of the time when people say I can't hear or something sounds wrong, they usually say it sounds too harsh, and all I have to do is go to like 300, 3000 or 250 and just take out a little bit of EQ there, and that usually makes it sound better. Maybe take out a little bit of that high end because it sounds too harsh, but it's still too much or too harsh. You remember you can always fatten it up and make it wider, and maybe that just kind of helps make it that whole higher end registry sound a little bit smoother to the in-ears. Remember, you have to talk with your band, ask them how things sound. It's a little bit different. I'm going to make a video about how the band members can talk to the tech booth and communicate how things are sounding in their head, so you can help them. And adjust the EQ on their in-ear. Again, start off with just a low cut. Again, those bass notes, the driver probably really can't hit those bass notes anyways, and they're just going to overdrive the little driver that goes in the in-ear monitors. And so it's just better to kind of cut them out. There's still plenty of bass notes down here, so they can get a bass tone. And it's an in-ear monitor, so no matter how good the in-ear monitor, you're not going to be able to feel the bass. It's just about being able to hear it. All right, thanks.